why they've had to make the lengthy trip north. Nearly for Matthew Warhurst. And now Sampa. And still with Tyrone Sampa. And he's done well to get the shot away, but it didn't really extend Harpenden. Big chance for him though, Tyrone Sampa. Starting in the competition for the first time, playing in it actually only for the second time. Taking the place in that midfield role today of his younger brother Floyd, who was a regular in the league. Phase. The sons of Christopher Sampa. Former centre-back and occasional striker. The likes of Blackburn Rovers and Queen's Park Rangers. Braithwaite up from the back. Goals in their last Youth League match at Real Madrid. That really impressive 4-0 win. They certainly ended the league phase in some style. Bar McDonald. Fapetu. Noble. Funku. And a little bit of time to think about it. Still has it here. In the end goes back to Kian Noble. Patiently try and pick away through high up the pitch. Charlie Gray, the captain. And Funku. Again too close to Harpenden though. Goalkeeper being kept busy, but thus far most of his work has been routine. Capped Finnish under-19 international, Mitja Harpenden. Had every minute of their Youth League season so far. 3 clean sheets, 5 goals conceded in the first 6 games. Those 3 two-legged ties in the domestic champions path that they've come through so far so impressively. It's always straightforward, but they found a way. In September against Janava of Lithuania. All-away draw in the first leg. 4-0 winners here. Edge past Tramson scored 3-2 on aggregate, and it was the same aggregate score in the last round against Genk. Here they come, with intent. Good ball slipped through. Marisha getting on the end of it. Did have support arriving as well, and it came off Fapetu, and is behind for the corner. That's certainly increased the volume levels inside the Helsinki football stadium. HJK, who've been coming under a little bit of pressure, not having a lot of the ball, showing what they are clearly capable of on the counter, and finding a threat, having won it well on halfway. There's one ball forward really that, for a moment, took the Manchester City defence out of the equation. Berisha running onto it. 3 to try and find in the middle. Still the danger from the corner, which is a deeper delivery, and headed down and in. And HJK are ahead. Thanks to Levi Palmula. There's the one on the end of it. They convert from the corner, and a dozen minutes in, the home side hit the front. Some start to their big day. And a first UEFA Youth League goal for Palmula, the 17-year-old. He was the quickest to react really and made the header his. He has scored a couple of goals for Finland's under-17 side, for whom he has previously served as captain. It's a third straight start for him in the Youth League, and he's opened his account in this competition. Helsinki ahead. And Manchester City will be frustrated by the concession of the goal and the nature of it, given how many players they had surrounding him, really. He was outnumbered in there, but it mattered not. And after all of that early possession for Manchester City, it is they who trail. Kept clean sheets in each of their last two league phase matches against notable opposition in Leverkusen and Real Madrid. Caught cold early on in Helsinki. That's well worked. We need a response now to Wilkinson's side. Charlie Gray forward, asking Nfunku to chase it, and he will reach it, and he has support from Dunbar MacDonald. Well, a fair few to try and get beyond, he wasn't able to do that. Petu. There goes Tyrone Sampa, making himself available at every opportunity. Heskey in support, but he's drifted infield instead. Bar MacDonald. Noble had continued his run. They have to be dealt with. Not as far as Nfunku. Manchester City have slipped straight back into prolonged periods of possession in pursuit of parity. They won't alter the game plan at this stage, having gone behind from the set piece. Given themselves an extra hurdle to try and overcome here. Dunbar MacDonald. Excellent season he's been having with the under-18s. Referee lets that go, and Charlie Gray is away and cuts it back, and it's still there to be struck. For Petu running onto it, Dunbar MacDonald has it, and has a go. Blocked as soon as it left his boot. But they're upping the intensity of the attacks here. Oh, the visitors. Brooklyn and Nfunku. Want everybody to try and find a way through, though. HJK defence well stocked, certainly. You would imagine that particular pattern has already been established. Certainly at this scoreline. Here come Manchester City in behind, though, and in for 1-1. And it's the captain on the end of it. Charlie Gray is there to convert. Well-worked move that has them back on level terms in short order. After that period of pressure and possession, they did pick away in behind, and there was Gray to apply the finishing touch. His second goal in this competition. He was in the right place to score it. Petu did well to cut it back into his path, and there's the first time finish from Charlie Gray. Well, who's made his senior debut already earlier this season in the English League Cup quarter-final against Brentford. He's been on the bench in the Premier League. He's the skipper of this side. He scored the equaliser at Manchester City, in the mood for more straight away with the strong run from Christian Dunbar-McDonnell. Well, they were behind for only 5 minutes. They've got that equalising goal. They are intent on turning this around as quickly as possible, it would appear. They get the corner. Lively start to the game, certainly. Fairly quickly and short. Here's the goal scorer Gray attempting to turn provider. Clearance wasn't convincing. Samba on the end of it. Still the chance, which snakes just wide from Regan Heskey. It's been a really good response, hasn't it, from the English team to the shock of going behind. The manner in which they did, and as quickly really as they did, just a dozen minutes in. But they weren't behind for long. In terms of the overall balance of play right now, they are very much on top. HJK content to try and build up from the back, and then they play the more expansive ball, looking to utilise the pace that they've got in this side. Nearly come off for them on a couple of occasions already. You can certainly see what they're trying. It's given away. Dunbar-McDonnell able to cut it out. 12 goals in 12 games for the under-18s. 2 and 2 in the FA Youth Cup as well for Manchester City this season. Competition that they've had such success in recently. Won it 4 times, including 2024, lost in the final last season. To round 5 again in the FA Youth Cup this season. Up in just under a week's time at Chelsea. Full focus first on this one. It's been forced back a little bit. The referee has stepped in here. The frustration of the fullback, Brooklyn Ntunku. It's a free kick. A useful position really for HJK, chance to get the ball into the box. We've seen already what they can do when that happens. A few waiting to attack it. I mean, had a little bit of a meal of it, Manchester City, in getting that away. In the end, it's behind by Christian McFarlane for the corner. Lessons been learned by the visitors. HJK hoping history will repeat itself in Helsinki. They've touched it short to Amin rather than deliver directly this time. Amin now does provide the cross. Set up to be struck by Legov Konan. Too many in the way really. And HJK still have it, albeit they head back towards halfway to keep it. Not for long, that's a good ball. And they're facing forwards again, and almost in there was Berisha. Fritz came and took it away from him. The keeper had to be alert. It's JK with a player down, hence the stoppage. So what has been a really frantic start to the game. Both sides looking a threat when they come forward. Dramatic comeback in the previous round for HJK. They did win the first leg here against Genk by 1-0. Marrow from the penalty spot got the only goal, but they went 2-0 down in Belgium. They need to score twice in the last 20 minutes or so, including the equaliser in stoppage time from Marrow to win the tie. There's plenty of purchase in the shot here, wasn't there? He's back on his feet again after a fairly prolonged period of treatment. Alan Traoré. The domestic league season in Finland doesn't start until April. Not often that they do play at this time of year because of these conditions. It's where the artificial surface is a must, really. Comes into its own. It's a Nordic nation in Northern Europe. Everything that comes with the trip, adding to the experience but also increasing the challenge for Manchester City. And this draw was made. 10th place finish in the league phase meant they always knew they would be away from home against one of the teams to come through the domestic champions path. Comes an open draw from the round of 16 onwards. All, of course, one-off games from here on in. Braithwaite. Braithwaite again, back to his goalkeeper. It's under some pressure. He's played 6 games for the under-21s this season, but a regular for the 19s in the Youth League, Spike Brits. So he always looks forward to playing in this competition because he can do so with his mates. Those that he's come through the ranks with. Take on different challenges like this one. Charlie Gray, scorer of the equalising goal. Finds Christian Dunbar MacDonald. This is where HJK are having to work hard without the ball. For long periods like this. Braithwaite getting it back from Ferpetu. At the positioning of Christian McFarlane, the number 5 as well. He's the one that got in behind to help set up the goal for Gray. Nominally the left back, but he's often one of the options further forward. Coming to make himself available for the ball here in combination with Regan Heskey. A year on since his signing from New York City FC. Dunbar MacDonald. From Gray. HJK just can't get hold of the ball at the moment. Samba's won it well. Braithwaite. There's McFarlane. Sticking to his task up against him. He's well suited to that role on the right when defensive duties are required as the ball comes in towards Gray. Contas is playing on the right hand side of the attack, but he's equally comfortable really at right back, so he's doubling up defensively. They're not slow to get players forward, are they, HJK, when they have the opportunity? Hasn't been afforded them too frequently. Does open up, they need no second invitation. There goes Heskey. His senior debut along with his brother Jayden against Huddersfield Town in the English League Cup earlier in the season. back in September. Do well, Manchester City, to win the ball back. Samba and Heskey combine. Farland helping out over there as well. Caden Braithwaite. All through for Samba. The clearance is by Levi Alate. He was the captain of HJK, the centre-back. One of those with first-team experience, played 4 times for their senior side. The 19-year-old, Levi Alate. Ian Kari alongside him, ever present in this competition. Brought down by Dunbar MacDonald. Might get another go yet. Referee spotted that off the ball though. With Charlie Gray against the HJK goal scorer, Palmula. 2 scorers in direct opposition in the Finnish penalty area. It was a little clumsy, wasn't it, from Gray looking at that. Spotted by the referee, had a decent view of it. Dominance in possession, not really necessarily reflected by the attempts at goal so far. Manchester City have a degree of control over proceedings. Relieved to be back on terms, I'm sure, as quickly as they were. Putting that one out. Then going down and winning the free kick against Nfunku. Look to get him more involved going forward if they can. Mustafa Amin. Second campaign actually in this competition, because he was briefly involved on a couple of appearances off the bench when they last played in it in 2023. The Finnish under-18 international. It's Mustafa Amin, the left back. Lost in the second round that season. Didn't compete in it last season, but have gone further than ever before this time around. 5th time in total that they've competed in the UEFA Youth League. Just in the first round in each of their first 3 attempts. Here is Dunbar MacDonald with support from Nfunku. Those two combining frequently down that flank. Braithwaite to Heskey and now McFarlane. Braithwaite, another who's made a senior debut under Pep Guardiola. Was back actually early last season. Still only 17. He was Manchester City's 3rd youngest ever first-team player at the time. Regan Heskey has charged off the ball. Doesn't give up on it though. Samba and then Petu helping him out. Farland has continued his run. Gets it back again in a part of the pitch from where he's already helped provide the equalising goal. Now they want more, back in by Petu. as is Gray. Here he is again. Braithwaite. HJK being pinned back at the moment for Petu. To the Manchester City centre-back, seeing plenty of the ball in opposition territory. And Funku. There's Noble. See what he was trying, and he has found Heskey. Oh, he's done brilliantly here. And he had Gray arriving, looking for another cutback. They have to settle for the corner this time. Regan Heskey causing issues, as he often does in this competition. Away from 2 or 3 of them for a moment there. Well, he's been with the Manchester City Academy since the age of 8. Going to take the corner. But a bit too deep for anybody in the middle though. One ultimately proving harmless. It's Manchester City's first corner of the contest. Productive from it, as HJK were at the other end early on. That's where their goal came from. Take a lot to tempt HJK out of their defensive shape though, isn't it? Really well organised back behind the ball. Involved in the build-up. This is Heskey. Samba making himself available. McDonald on the move. Funku. Still going here. Had continued his run as well. Samba attempting initially there to flick it back to him. Now he's battling to hold on to the ball. Did well to do so. Support from Charlie Gray. Samba. Dunbar McDonald. They try and find some space somewhere. Didn't have the room to hit the shot, Dunbar McDonald, but he still has the ball. Heskey in first time, where Matty Warhurst was his target in the middle, but Harpenden came and collected coolly. Yeah, really been able to get the service into the centre forward. Warhurst, who's operated more on the periphery of the contest than most. It only takes a moment. Under the perils, really, of playing that position. He's been a regular goal scorer at under 21 level this season, 5 in 14 in all competitions under Ben Wilkinson for the 21s. Of course, they are without one of their top scorers from the league phase, Divine Mukasa, who got a goal a game in his 4 appearances, joining Leicester City in search of more regular first-team football, on loan for the rest of the campaign on deadline day on Monday. They've played 6 times for the first team already for Manchester City this season, 3 of those in the Premier League. Amin. Wider here is Mero. He's the danger man really for HJK. Haven't seen a lot of him until now. That's a good run. It needed Braithwaite to get a foot in. Still the danger with Neeland lurking. Traore. Neeland. Deflected, loops up and in! Oh, and completely against the recent balance of play, HJK Helsinki are ahead again. Anton Neeland at the centre of the celebrations there. Well, they soaked up plenty of pressure. They've had pretty much everybody back behind the ball for long spells. But at the other end of the field, they've restored their lead before half-time. Some story. Neeland was heavily involved in the build-up. Another of the more experienced players in this side who has played for the first team, but there's a big stroke of fortune involved in the goal after the deflection. Very little that Brits could do. He saw that sail over his head. It hit Caden Braithwaite. Ends up in that far bottom corner. Certainly still claim the goal. We head for the final 5 of the first half, with HJK back ahead in Helsinki. Certainly have been Manchester City looking much more likely to score the game's 3rd goal, but not so. They really do have something to hold on to. Let's see if the Finnish side can keep the lead for longer this time. Funku covering good ground. Dunbar McDonald. Noble, turning it to Nfunku, slotted straight back into this familiar style of play. Dominant on the ball, but behind. For all of this possession, they've only had one more attempt at goal than HJK, who scored from both of their attempts on target. Albeit with a degree of fortune regarding the second, but they will care not a bit about that. They will feel maybe they need something like that if they are to go through today. There's Noble. Pretty much everything ahead of him. Braithwaite. The unfortunate defender. The shot struck on its way in. Should be the keeper's ball, and is. Harpenden there. And taking a tumble as well. A little bit of afters involving Matthew Warhurst. He finds himself outnumbered by those in blue and white. We've got a bit to say to him. Experienced official Antoni Bandic. Nearly a century of games in the Bosnian top flight. They weren't happy, the home side, by the little shove there from Warhurst on the goalkeeper. Had already collected it by then, but it opens up here for Warhurst, and that's a big block. Vital challenge came in just in time as Manchester City's number 9 got the shot away. Well, he's a bit more involved than he had been, in every sense, really. But the home side up for this, and some there were always going to be, of course. But they're really giving the supporters inside the Helsinki football stadium plenty to shout about. A bit behind that, wasn't there? Regan Heskey taking on Aaron Traore. Support from McFarlane, but he's gone back infield instead to Braithwaite. There's Noble. Heskey again. Tough task, isn't it, for Traore? He's the one charged really with marshalling the threat of Regan Heskey. He has had plenty of teammates quick to offer him support in doing so. All he wants really is Heskey threatened to get away from him in this first half. Now Braithwaite. Petu. There's a foul in there on Dunbar McDonald by Amin. It will be a Manchester City free kick in the last minute of the first 45. Can they make this count? Will depend on the delivery from Gray. Whipped it in menacingly, and the header from Warhurst is wide. Not too far away. Warhurst looking for his first goal in this season's UEFA Youth League. Did score at this stage last season in the competition. They needed penalties to put out Midtjylland in Denmark a year ago. Also scored in the round of 16 last season. He got 3 goals in the competition in the previous campaign, did Warhurst. He's more frequently off the bench this time around, and until tonight only his second start of the season in it. Here goes Nfunku. He did well. Gray trying to trick his way through, and that flashes all the way across goal in the end from Charlie Gray. A couple of minutes added on at the end of this first half. We're almost halfway through that. So the visitors step up the pressure once more in pursuit of parity for a second time in the first half. He's given the throw now the other way. Happy with how that was taken, but they are happy with the scoreline, certainly at this stage. Noble. Narrow back defending. Oh, he's done brilliantly. That's a lovely touch to come away with it from Toivo Mero. And now Berisha. Good ball again, you could see what they were trying. Plenty are prepared to make those sort of runs. Well, HJK do have it, it's just that they haven't had it too frequently. Scoreline would suggest they've not necessarily needed to. That is half-time, and HJK will take a lead into the interval in Helsinki here. Manchester City have had much more of the ball and more of the chances, but it's the home side who have the lead. The deflected effort from Anton Nieland going in to restore their advantage. They've gone in front thanks to Palmula. That lead lasted only 5 minutes. Charlie Gray levelled it, but it's HJK ahead at half-time here. HJK Helsinki 2. Manchester City 1. So welcome back. We're almost set for the start of the second half in Helsinki, where HJK lead Manchester City by 2-1, getting themselves back in front late in that first half. They'd led early, a lead that was lost only 5 minutes later. Manchester City went on to dominate the vast majority of the possession. But they were caught cold again before that first half had finished in the freezing conditions in the north of Europe today. So what the second half has in store has to be decided, of course. If it's level after 90, we go to penalties. Off and underway once more. HJK with that all-important advantage. Side featuring at this stage of this competition for the first time, having come through the 3 rounds of the domestic champions path to get this far, against opponents who were quarter-finalists last season, who have been regulars recently in the knockout stages. 4th straight year that they've contested them. They'll certainly feel unfortunate, will Ben Wilkinson's side, to be behind at this juncture, particularly given the concession of the second, which deflected in heavily off Caden Braithwaite, who's back on the ball here. Anton Nieland, who hit the shot, has claimed the goal. It's a little bit of work done on the pitch during the half-time interval to the sprinkling of snow that we've had. Still coming down, not particularly heavily yet. It is due to get heavier later tonight in Helsinki. No surprise at this time of year in this part of the world. So you've dealt with the conditions pretty well thus far. Used to playing on this sort of artificial surface anyway at the training ground. Famously wet in Manchester. It's not normally quite this cold. Here's Tyrone Samba to bend one in towards Warhurst. It hasn't entirely been dealt with yet. Farland trying to make the most of it. Set up the equaliser for Charlie Gray. Christian McFarlane in behind. It's not the threat getting forward from fullback. Options here for HJK. Some space for Contas. Traore outside of him. And infield instead, and that was threatening. The ball whipped back across by Le Goncona. His movement causing Manchester City issues. Alicia was the one trying to profit. Survived the scare, the visitors, on that occasion. They can ill afford the concession of another at the start of this second half. They really would be up against it. Run in the UEFA Youth League was to the semi-finals in 2018. Famous 5-4 defeat that they suffered against Barcelona in Lyon. Against the eventual champions that year. After that they went out at the group stage for 3 seasons running. There was more recent involvement, as mentioned a moment earlier, in the knockout stages. Last season, the last 16, the previous 2 campaigns. It would be a disappointment were they to bow out at this point this year. Braithwaite. A little bit of pressure there from Contas, but he did well enough to keep hold of it. His Heskey goes back down the line for McFarlane. Through the New York City Academy. Signed professional there when he was just 14 years of age. He's the third youngest ever player in history to sign a Major League Soccer contract. He did play 13 times for their first team before joining Manchester City a year ago. They've worked this well for Charlie Gray. Heskey. Samba trying to force a way through it, comes back the way of Gray, it's in awkwardly, down goes Heskey, and penalty saves the referee. Manchester City will have the chance to level it. Regan Heskey brought down in the box. Scorer of a late penalty in Madrid in their last match in the Youth League. Well, pick himself up and fancy taking this one, but he was the one brought down. 5 minutes into this second half. Samba did really well. So too did Gray. It was a really testing ball in, and it was just mistimed, wasn't it? Challenge on Heskey. I don't think you can have too many complaints. Palmula, scorer of the game's opening goal, has presented Manchester City with the opportunity to level it up again here. Having won it, it will be Heskey to take it. With a little wait yet though. Home fans doing their best to try and play their part in putting him off. And, applying the pressure on his shoulders right now. 4 goals already though in this season's UEFA Youth League for Regan Heskey. Heskey sees it saved by the goalkeeper but sticks away the rebound. And they are back on terms for a second time. Needed a couple of goes at it, Regan Heskey in levelling the game at 2-2. Harpenden had made the save, but Heskey was first to react. And it's all square again. His fabulous record in this competition continues. 9 goals in the Youth League in total. Having featured heavily in their run to the quarter-finals last season as well. Goalkeeper a little bit unfortunate. Harpenden having stopped it but couldn't hold it. Just saw it run away from him, invitingly back into the path of Heskey. Who knows, there might be more penalty drama later on, but Manchester City from the spot have just about taken their chance to level it up again. As Neeland couldn't quite find a way beyond Gray. Heskey. To their success in this competition. For those with first team experience at the age now of 18. He's been on the Premier League bench 5 times recently. Across December and January. England under-18 international. One of those 2 goals, including one from the penalty spot at Real Madrid in the last game. He was also on target against Leverkusen on match day 5 and against Napoli right at the start of the league phase. A couple of goals for the under-21s in Premier League 2 and an 8-1 victory against Burnley nearly a month ago. It's his 3rd season already playing in the Youth League. He scored on his debut actually against Young Boys back in November of 2023 in this competition. Covered good ground initially. It was stopped by Amin. And goes the way of the home side. Once again, it hasn't taken Manchester City too long to get themselves back level after conceding. Square 7 minutes into the second half, having gone behind again 6 minutes before the break. Trailed only for 5 minutes after the first one. Turning back into trouble, has lost out here against Samba, who has options either side. This is Warhurst, still with Matty Warhurst. Too many in the middle really, in blue and white in the way. And Samba almost cutting that one out as well. He's everywhere right now. So, free kick rather than a throw for Christian McFarlane. Braithwaite will be feeling a bit better after the equaliser's gone in. Not that there was a lot he could do about the part that he had in Helsinki second. Progress to this point, HJK has been in the balance pretty much all the way through. Those three two-legged ties that they've negotiated thus far. They only scored the winning goal on aggregate in the last round in stoppage time at Genk. Fonku on the stretch is able to provide the cross. McFarlane, Heskey, back for Christian McFarlane. Asking the questions with the cross. There's Gray. Back in the ascendancy, aren't they, Wilkinson's side? Samba were targets in the middle, it's claimed by Harpinen. Will feel unfortunate having saved the penalty. You still concede the goal. Traore. Done. And all sorts of space for them here. Switch wider for contact. Three in the middle. Cuts it back instead. Well, there's space for the shot and it didn't miss by much. Palmula caught it sweetly. And it flashes just wide. That was much better from HJK. Looking to hit the front for a third time in the game. Good effort. Really neatly done in the build-up as well. Farland in the meantime. Just another little reminder that to Manchester City. Dominated much of the match, but never been in front. HJK growing in confidence again. For Braithwaite to do here, requires assistance from Brits. Then is quickly closed down by Contas. It's going to fall at his feet. Brits is there and still can't quite grab it. And Braithwaite a little bit panicky in the penalty area for Manchester City. They get away with it. It's JK with hope restored again though. But they can re-establish their advantage. Two goals that they have got so far tonight both came really stages of the game where they weren't looking particularly threatening. Now they are beginning to display more menace in the final third. It's never quite had hold of the ball a moment ago and well, perhaps Philly should have done. That's Gray. Regan Heskey. Heskey's away from Traore here. Couldn't quite find Samba, but it comes for Gray. Walked away as far as Nfonku. Now Kian Noble. Like reflection on that as he returns it. McFarlane is there. Regan Heskey. Papetu. There's Braithwaite and back again. Heskey. That's a clever ball. McFarlane to flash it across goal. Gray. Big block. Just when it looked like it was going to fall at the feet of the Manchester City captain to score his second of the game. He was in the right place to do so. But no sooner had he met it than it was blocked behind. The way on that occasion was Eva Alati, the captain. Throwing himself in front of the effort from Charlie Gray. Sampa. Fast feet from him, couldn't quite force a way through, but Heskey steps in to help out and win the ball back. Battling for that against Neeland. Stayed down as Regan Heskey, didn't get the free kick he was hoping for. So HJK can clear. Funku reaching it first though. Back come the visitors. Bar McDonald in towards Sampa. Cut out by Kari. Laura Kari, the ever-present centre-back. What a timely intervention. An hour in Helsinki. Braithwaite. About 3,000 kilometres north from Manchester. For these young players determined to reap their reward and continue in the competition. Pressing and probing. What of the game doing that? Nearly for Tyrone Sampa. And back well by Dunbar McDonald. He was completely outnumbered. Wasn't going to give it up. There was Nfonku here who's won it back well against Mustafa Amin. Battling for it with Mero as well. A lot of his work, their top scorer, has involved his defensive duties tonight. So it is local time now. To Caden Braithwaite. Heskey. Has it here, Regan Heskey, and he's going to have a go, but it was a rather wild one. Rather troubling the target. The player who has levelled it up for Manchester City. No surprise, really, that he's got his name on the score sheet after the season he's had. There is activity on the touchline, though. We are going to see a change from Ben Wilkinson here. It's the first of the game. It's Xavier Parker who is coming on for Oluwafemi Papetu for a Youth League debut for the 15-year-old. He scored a couple of goals for the under-18s recently. He's been on target in the FA Youth Cup this season already as well. Now introduced in this competition for the first time. He didn't feature in the league phase, but such has been his rapid progress recently that he is summoned at a time of need for his team. Parker on in midfield for Papetu. It's the first change of the game by either side at this juncture. Look at the concession of the penalty. I think he knew, did Palmula, what was coming as the referee pointed to the spot. Up and with the save, but it just ran loose. And free back at the feet of Heskey. He'll be mightily relieved by that as well. One short of double figures now for career goals in the UEFA Youth League. Farland, no chances with the clearance, and it did just brush off the opponent as well on the way out. So it's a Manchester City ball. Worked out rather well for Christian McFarlane. Referee right on the spot to award the free kick. Couldn't have been any closer to it. Fully involved, the captain Charlie Gray so far today, as you would expect him to be. HJK still emphasising their threat though. They've got 3 or 4 waiting in the penalty area here. Others in support as well. Helped on here for Contats, kept in, and then squeezed in by Mero! HJK's top scorer comes to the party to put them ahead in Helsinki for the 3rd time in the game. And that's 7 in 7 for him in this UEFA Youth League this season. Able to squeeze it in when the angle appeared improbable, as perhaps does this scoreline. 3-2 HJK. Well, he's barely had a look at goal so far today, the top scorer, but that is all he needs. What a season he is having. Contas played his part as well. Nero's first touch was a fairly heavy one. It looked like it might have got away from him, but his reaction's so smart. That's a really good finish. 7 goals coming in his last 6 games in a competition in which he has played in every minute for HJK. He's already scored for the first team in the Finnish Cup in May of last year. It's going to spark a triple change in the aftermath of the goal. Contas, who played his part in it, is one of those that has made way here. Berisha, I think, coming off as well. Rule change. The introduction for fresh legs off the bench. That is J.D. Nascimento, who's come on in place of Legov Konan. The 3rd of those changes. Very different circumstances as well now. Salo also coming on. Krupkin is the other player to be introduced. That's Berisha, Legov Konan, as we saw, just to confirm the 3 making way. Midway point of this second half in Helsinki. This is De Nascimento. Ball straight away. Out by Christian McFarlane. Confirming all of those changes for you. Kripken's only started the 1 game in this competition, but he has featured in them all, so the 16-year-old maintains that record. It's the 7th game of the season in the Youth League. Come off the bench in 6 of them. His 5th appearance as a substitute for Samuel Salo in the competition, on for Berisha up top. He's another 16-year-old. There's McFarlane. Noble. Donald. Kian Noble. Centre-backs combine again. With Braithwaite. McFarlane. Heskey. We're slipping it wider. Cross from Dunbar McDonald is blocked behind for the corner. Manchester City try and rise to the challenge of coming back from behind for a third time. Hanging around, as you might imagine here. Kunku. This is Noble. Dunbar McDonald. We've been here before, haven't we? Samba slipping it forward. Heskey is wider. Heskey whips it in. Free header. 3-3. Warhurst on the end of it. For the third time in the game, Manchester City level it up in Finland. It's Matty Warhurst with his first Youth League goal of this season, having scored at this stage a year ago. Wasn't going to spurt an opportunity like that. Well worked for Regan Heskey, who... And Warhurst in position to do the rest. Too much on it for Harponen, who was behind it, but always going to struggle to keep that out from there. And on we go into the last 20 minutes now. These teams continue to trade goals. Never more than one between them at any point. Manchester City have still never led, but they are level again. Referee's reaching for a card by the looks of things. Xavier Parker, with whom he's in conversation here. Only going to be one outcome at the end of that. It's Mustafa Amin, who was down, over whom there still remains a little bit of concern here. Manchester City will make a change. They hope to, they'll have to wait. Fourth time, could they? Rule anything out in a game like this. It will be a free kick. He was just waiting to see if anything would come of it, but Parker was clearly fouled. It's changed that they've been waiting to do. Dunbar McDonald making way, so his first start in the competition ends here, and on in his place comes Dante Headley. More of a defensive player by trade. We'll see exactly where he... Level of the game. Many players are still finding their best positions and are more than capable of operating in a few. And again, heading straight into it, working with Nfonku, it squeezes the cross in. It's a good ball for Headley. Trading three times, Manchester City will certainly still feel this is there for the winning. McFarlane, as far as to say, they'll probably still expect to win it from here, without necessarily the need for penalties. Sebastian Fowler. Ski ahead of him, just lost his footing there before the ball came. He will get it from Charlie Gray. And goes down. This time there was a reason other than the pitch for losing his footing. The challenge from Aaron Traore. And the free kick for Manchester City in a useful position. Chelsea needed penalties to get past PSV yesterday and hosted Frankfurt at Athletic Club. 6 games of the round of 32 took place yesterday. The 10 all unfolding over the course of today. Saint-Germain, and Atletico all through already. So what Manchester City have got here. Captain Charlie Gray to take the free kick in low. They're cleared by Neeland. Certainly won't want to take the chance of going to the shootout. Manchester City. They did need penalties though to prevail at this stage of the competition a year ago. They drew 2-2 at Midtjylland in the round of 32. Warhurst and Regan Heskey were on the score sheet in the win that followed at Hoffenheim in the previous round as well. Warhurst was also on target in Denmark. And the goalkeeper, Oliver Watmer, scored the winning stop kick in the shootout. Charlie Gray had been sent off in that match, you might remember. About this stage of the game, actually. It's that experience in this competition, in the knockout stages, that Ben Wilkinson was talking about pre-match, that he hoped his squad would be able to draw upon. Here they come with Headley. Walker trying to turn. Oh, brilliant effort, and that's a really good save at full stretch by Harpinen. Clawed it away down to his right. As close really as Manchester City have come to getting in front for the first time. For all of their pressure and possession, on level terms they haven't really created too much. As soon as they go behind, they've managed to find a way. Good effort though from Xavier Parker, but forced that save from Harpinen. Gray. Attention there as Samba was to return it to him, couldn't quite do so with the precision required. The City forced back into their own half. They go longer where Warhurst was the target, the goalkeeper came and didn't get there. He's relieved to see it almost into touch in the end. Traore decided he couldn't take the chance. Cleared it for the throw for a moment for Mircea Harpinen there. Not the right decision to come and try and get there. He made his mind up. He missed it almost entirely. With the flag up. Can breathe again. Both sides from Harpinen. Excellent save from Parker here. Wonderful footwork it was to create that glimpse of goal from the 15-year-old. Harpinen was equal to it with a super stop. Moments later, I think, got nothing like enough on it. Warhurst, wide of the Headley. Neeland. Watching the last 10 minutes now. It's this stage where we might see if everything HJK have put into this will catch up with them. There's Regan Heskey for Manchester City. No way through for him though. Nealon sorted that. But Farland still battling for it. It's HJK ball. We'll make a change as well here. Coming off, out left back. Much everybody in those blue and white shirts have put a real shift in to get to this stage on terms. Having led 3 times. He's replaced here for the conclusion by Gronlund. 17-year-old, like for like at left back. Gronlund has only started once in the competition, but it's the 5th time off the bench for HJK. Fonku back infield this time. Before Gray works it wider. Headley in by Noble. Warhurst on the end of it, just over the top from Matthew Warhurst. Proven goal scorer at this youth level. That's the reason why he's been brought into the team today. He levelled it up at 3-3. Wasn't too far away from catching Manchester City ahead. For the England under-18 international. Wasn't in the squad in Madrid last time out in the competition. He did play in the first 5 games of the league phase. It's his 3rd season in the Youth League. He did against Savannah Zvezda in September of 2023. An excellent record recently, actually, for the under-21s in Premier League 2. 4 goals in his last 3 appearances for them, including a couple against Stoke City, and that's on Friday night. There for the home side. It's cut out by Noble. Centre back again, Kian Noble. Every minute of their Youth League season so far. He's another in his 3rd campaign in the competition. He made the first team bench. Bodo Glimt in the Champions League on current England under-19 international. Certainly went strong as you'd expect them to do at this stage of the competition with the starting lineup. Some notable names not available from the league phase, with Ryan McKesser going out on loan. Ryan McKadu with the first team. You have a League Cup leg against Newcastle tonight. Under-19s in the Youth League though, taking centre stage first. Making hard work of this in Helsinki. Fonku, it's a strong run. Caused him to fall. There's a yellow card for the challenge on him. There's a free kick for Manchester City. Muller it was, I think. He caught him. Yeah. Clear cut, wasn't it? He's had an eventful afternoon. Levi Muller. A long time ago now it seems that he scored the opener. Close to his 2nd of the night. Now he's into the book. Charlie Gray has come close to a 2nd of the night. Xavier Parker a good while ago. Muller into the book as well. But Manchester City got from here. Charlie Gray. to tease it in, and on the end of it was Noble. Over the top from the centre-back, he met it in space. Gray delivered it where Noble would have wanted it, but he couldn't make the most of it. It's a decent chance for Manchester City there. Three of his career goals so far have been in the under-18 Premier League. He scored in this competition in his 15th appearance in it now over those last 3 seasons. Time away from a possible penalty shootout here. McFarlane. There's Noble. Headley. Wouldn't rule anything out yet though, given how this has gone. Done by Headley, bringing that down when he didn't have a lot of room over on that touchline. Christian McFarlane, he's got a bit more space to search into initially. Finds Regan Heskey. Still going, could have fallen anywhere. Scrambled close as far as Noble. Now Gray. Heskey. Was trying to hit that, never quite had the room. Gray. Tyrone Samba ahead of him. Still with Samba. Heskey. Gray. Everybody back in blue and white. Not asking too much of McFarlane. The shepherd behind by Traore for the goal kick. HJK were it to go to penalties, despite the fact that they've led 3 times in the game. Still harbouring hopes of being in Friday's draw for the remainder of the competition. Seen the and the semis. It will for the first time be an open semi-finals and the final, as is always the case of course in this competition, will be head across the same weekend in Nyon, 17th and 20th of April. HJK with 3 goals today from 3 attempts on target. Everybody though find a 4th before the finish in Finland. Going back to Spike Brits. Coolly done from the keeper. Get it back here from Gray. Five on-target attempts from Manchester City, coming from 17 attempts at goal in the game. And they come once more with Headley. It's a clever ball. Parker's effort, the goalkeeper has spilled it. Samba trying to reach it. Warhurst is in there. And the effort from Regan Heskey. There's behind. Took a touch maybe on the way behind, possibly off his own teammate. There was so much going on in the middle. Real scramble. HJK survived the scare. For anybody in there, did it? That's minute of the 90 now. Straight to in the competition. It's a real possibility now, that shootout. Manchester City still haven't given up hope of winning this before then yet. Regan Heskey. Saw a penalty saved. Scored the rebound earlier in the piece. Looking to have maybe the final say here, having won that penalty himself. Samba looking for another one. Is told to get up again by referee Bandage. Impressed with the appeals on that occasion. There's Heskey once more. Tried to find Samba. Oh, McFarlane. Gray's in there as well. There's a bit too much of it, really showing too crisply McFarlane. But HJK now themselves can come clear on the counter with Kripkin as we advance into 3 additional minutes at the end of the 90. That's all that's left for either team to win it before the penalty shootout. Well, Manchester City have looked more likely. That hasn't tended to count for much in a game like this. Back to Harpenen. Decent distance on that one. The visitors have been the ones pressing to win it in regulation time. A bit more patient in possession during that period. Now they advance forward. There's Parker. Well, it ends in frustration for him. He's looked lonely, hasn't he, since coming on, Xavier Parker. Wants to find safe from Harpenen. He was almost in behind there. Ultimately, though, nothing for him at the end of it. And another change, maybe just to tick the clock down a little further. And perhaps a change with the penalties in mind. Being made by Paparim Hetamai. That Adam Saitra might well take one. He is on for Yerek Kari, the centre-back. He probably wouldn't have done. Great hurry here, Izzy Harpenen. He's likely to be centre stage again very shortly in the shootout. Saved one to no avail already tonight. It's going to be a free kick for HJK. It may well be that the last opportunity for the home side in Helsinki. Müller, who started right at conclusion. Prioritise possession. Deliver it directly in the knowledge that the whistle was on the way. It ends all square in a 3-all thriller, and this will have to be decided from the penalty spot. HJK 3 times in front against Manchester City, 3 times pegged back, but they take this out. Harpenen having already saved one from Heskey. Although about Manchester City through Matty Warhurst have levelled it for a 3rd time, but now it's going to come down to who can hold their nerve from the spot to book a place in the round of 16. It's finished after 90, HJK 3, Manchester City 3.